Hello everyone, this is Peter Garrity and welcome to this SEO Backlink 5X Method webinar. As you can see on the screen, you see my blog, and it's for a reason. This blog created my authority online back in 2010, 2011, and the best thing that happened with this blog is that I actually didn't create a lot of backlinks for it, right? What I did a strategic link building, right? I did a strategic link building where I literally leveraged every backlink to the maximum to just boost the rankings across the board and get result. That's incredible, because sometimes I see people, just creating ton and ton of backlinks without realizing that if you would just focus on those that are important for your site, and if you would just leverage those to the maximum, you would get great results. Now, in order to help me to kind of explain this and to show properly how to leverage it, I have a good friend on the call today, and he is going to show you something amazing. And he has a technology that back in 2010 when I did this, I actually didn't have the technology. I did it manually, right? But I realized the power of it, and that's why I'm absolutely excited to bring on my good friend, Chris Munch. Chris, are you there? Hello. Hello.
Hello, Peter, I'm here. And hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I can hear you very well. So let me give you a screen. Are you ready to take it over?
Just 1 second.
All right.
I have like always 100 windows open. That's how I work.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's so Chris is going to help me to really explain to you what, as I said, what I did in 2010, 2011, what I did manually. So now you can automate that and really leverage the results to the maximum. And best of all, this is what works in 2014, right? Which is important, because there is not so many things that worked in 2010 works now, right? So there are just a few things that you can take back from the, let's say, good old days, right, and just implement. So let me know, Chris, when you are ready to take the screen.
I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
Awesome. So let me make you a presenter, and here you are. So now we don't see your screen. We see SEO backlinking 5X method. Now we see your screen. Okay, awesome. Well, so take over, and if you have, I will jump here and there in case there will be some questions, and I will help later on for you and just to everyone to explain how important this is. So let's go.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, I really appreciate you having me here, Peter. I think it's the first webinar I've actually done to your audience, so I really, really appreciate being here. And I know that you have such a cool group just from following you that, we're going to have a really good session. Because I know the guys on here really have like a good idea of SEO and getting traffic. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So hello everyone, just to make sure you can hear me clearly, first of all, I am Chris Munch. So someone says the volume's a bit low. So just let me know if the volume's good and you can hear me okay. Okay, it's a little bit quiet. Let me see. Maybe something got knocked on my microphone. Okay guys, how's that? Is that a little better? Okay, that's good. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. So you should be able to see my screen. It says up here, traffic reward channels for evergreen traffic, and this brings you more followers and higher rankings. And this is completely linked with what Peter is talking about with this 5 times backlink leverage. And this is really a really important part of doing anything online, is being able to get the most out of every little bit of effort that you do. So first of all is, who is this for? And so it's for people who've got affiliate marketing, review sites, AdSense websites, local business sites, lead gen sites, your own product or membership sites, e-commerce sites, blogs, news article sites, Kindle and author sites, and it also works on international and foreign language sites as well. Okay, and first of all, really just to check that you're in the right place. So, this is going to work for most people, but there might be some people who this isn't really going to work for. And so, first of all, I recommend that you at least have your own website or at least publish some articles online, and I think we're fine here with Peter's audience. You guys, in general, you're a little bit further ahead than most people, and you have an idea of how you're going to make some money with that site and with that traffic. And a couple of things that you're going to need to be prepared to do is to link to your social profile, so like your Twitter account or something like that, from either your main site or some of the articles which you've published. You're going to need to fill in some forms and things online, just like when you sign up to a website type thing, so simple stuff like that. You're going to need to be able to publish quality content online. If you're not publishing good content, then this isn't really going to work for you very well. It might do, it might help, but really if you're not publishing quality content, then you're really holding yourself back. And you can follow the recommended method rather than an experiment. So some people get really, really excited by this and see the possibilities of what they can do. I recommend you follow what we say to do first, and then maybe experiment later, because we've tested and we've tried lots of different things. And so what I'm going to show you is what we know to work the best, and maybe someone else could find something better that is even more effective in the method, some little tweaks. But to begin with, we recommend that you follow how we lay it out, because the reason why people tend to not do well is because they do it differently and they make a mistake somewhere along the way. Okay, so just very quickly about who I am. So I'm Chris Munch. I run a small little software company that helps individuals and businesses get more traffic and make more money. And so I've been doing that for a few years, but before that, I got started in 2005, and I was selling a little $5 guide on eBay on how to watch sports games and some other content online. And I was making around $2,000 a month selling that little guide on eBay for 2 hours work. And that's what actually got me really excited about doing something online, because I saw these early results, and it got me really, really excited. But it didn't last forever, because eBay changed their rules on how you could advertise, and it was no longer profitable for me to do so. So, inspired by creating this little online TV guide which I sold on eBay, I tried to do my own startup, which was kind of like a cross between Netflix and free online TV. And I was doing this back in 2005 and 2006, before anyone had really even heard of YouTube. Like, YouTube was a new site which, at that point it was only just taken off. I think it may have even been still trying to be a dating site at that time. And this site, I got a lot of traffic to this site. I actually got 6-figure traffic per month. So I was getting something like 150,000 visitors per month to this site. But unfortunately, I couldn't get any investment for it, and I didn't really know how to make money with it at the time. And so I was broke at that time, so I started trying to make money doing blogging, and I actually worked for $3 per post, and I learned how to blog and what to do. And then I went on and did it myself and run my own blogs, and that actually gave me enough money to actually travel the world. So this picture here on the right-hand side is actually me visiting Peru, and I think that's in 2009. So there's a little bit of gap in between it, but that's kind of how it quickly unfolded. And these blogs, I'm not really involved in the blogs, which really got me started. I don't really run them anymore. And what happened is I taught a friend of mine, Ken, he's really a developer, not a blogger or SEO guy, but he wanted to quit his job. And so I showed him how to do this blogging stuff, going back maybe like to 2008 now, and he got the same results as me. We were getting a huge amount of traffic, and because we were getting so much traffic and he was a developer, we wanted to look at ways we could automate and systemize our business. This was really important so that we could really leverage our time and get the best results. And so we started making these cool little tools which we needed, which weren't out there for, there was nobody making tools like these. And even today, some of the stuff we have, nobody still has really done anything like we've done. And so this little software business really started to take off. And I wasn't able to, really concentrate on my blogs and expand them and scale them while running a software company. So about 1.5 to 2 years ago, I actually left the blogs and said, I'm stopping. I'm not doing it anymore. It can just run itself. And I actually went in and looked at the stats on these blogs. They've still got ads on them. They're still making money. And this is the traffic in, the last 180 days. I took this screenshot on January the 17th, and this is the traffic that I got to those blogs. And so it just goes to show that when you do the right things and you put the right things in place, that you can get continual traffic. I've not touched these sites in 1.5 to 2 years. I think the only thing I've done was about 2 months ago on one of the sites that got a load of spam comments and it caused a problem on the server and we deleted some comments. So that's about the only thing I've actually been on and done. And so this is what brings us here today. I built software from my own experience blogging, and this is what we're here to talk about today, is to get more traffic, and we'll be talking specifically about backlinks. And so before we begin then, I've got a quick question for you, and Peter, if you'd like to run the poll, I think we can do this within GoToWebinar. Okay, so he's opened the poll now, so there should be a poll which you can answer this question, and the question is, out of these three, what is the hardest part when it comes to backlinking? And so you can come in now and on the GoToWebinar screen, and you can choose your answer to this. So is it getting backlinks that actually improve my rankings, getting social authority for your site? It's kind of actually related to backlinks. We'll go into that a little bit more. Or getting my site indexed in Google. So it'd just be good to hear from you guys where you find you have the most issues. We'll just wait a moment for that to come in. Okay, this is interesting. So we've got half of the people have voted so far. So Peter, when should we take the results in? As you do these quite a lot. I'm not too familiar with them.
Yeah, so we are almost there, just a little bit. We are a little bit over 51%. So I think we can close the poll, and let me share the results actually, so you can see the results, and then Chris can comment obviously on that. So you can see, Chris, the results as well.
No, I can't. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can. So yes, so we've got 68% of people say that getting backlinks that actually improve your rankings is the hardest part. And I quite like as well that some people have voted on the social authority part as well. So getting indexed in Google usually isn't really a problem these days. Google can find your site pretty easily. But yeah, definitely getting backlinks that actually improve your rankings is so hard to do. And the reason is there's so much kind of misinformation out there, all these kind of tools which can go and get links, and you're told to build links and things like that. And there's a real massive demand to have links. And so people go out and they spend some money, or they try some things to get links, but there's a marketplace there to give you something which doesn't necessarily work. But when you get those links, you do a certain method, you think you're doing what you're supposed to, but it turns out that it hasn't really been working so well for you at all. And so what we're going to do today is look at how we can get the backlinks which you already have, which haven't been working for you, to get them to actually start working for you, as well as kind of philosophy for moving forward about what type of backlinks are going to really help you. Okay, so on this webinar then we'll be understanding why Google is like a hot woman when it comes to driving higher rankings or getting higher rankings from Google, and how to use backlinks for social content that your audience will be interested in. So this is using backlinks on your social profiles like Twitter, doing this on autopilot, using it to grow your traffic, and that's what we'll be getting into. So if that doesn't make sense, we'll be covering that, and it will make sense by the end of this though. And this will give you the 5 times leverage on your existing backlinks, and also help you get more sites to link to you because they want to get the best type of link that you can, which is when someone truly comes and links to you. Okay, so the question is then, we've seen some really big changes in the last few years. So I'm not too sure, if you guys are, completely new, or you've been doing it a while. If you've been here maybe a year or 2 years, you've probably noticed the trend that it gets harder and harder and harder to get traffic from Google. Things which worked 2 years ago no longer work. Things which worked like 5 years ago, they will hurt you. And so, but the question is, where is this traffic going? Because Google traffic isn't just disappearing, it's going somewhere, it's going to somebody. And so really you want to be that somebody. And if you're not getting the traffic, it's because you're probably not doing it in the right way, or you just haven't kind of hit that point where it kind of really starts to kick in. And so what I'll talk about today is really what Google is looking for. And I'm sure you guys know this, but you might pick up on a few things which you might not have realized. Because myself and Peter, we do have slightly different strategies when it comes to SEO. We're in line with a lot of things. And see, the big question to ask then is where this traffic is going. And so you look up on screen here now, you see I've got a weird Google logo that might get some people's attention. But I'm not talking about sending this traffic, this traffic's not going to porn sites, that's not what this picture means. What this means is that Google is very much like a hot woman. So if you're trying to impress Google and do everything in your power to kind of build backlinks, maybe get some social votes, all these different things which you can do, optimizing the pages like to perfection. Google is designed to ignore people that do that. If that's your end game, if that's all you're doing, if that's your focus is just to impress Google, then Google is not going to be interested. Just like a hot woman, if she is hit on by guys all the time trying to impress her, and she just shuts him out. But the guy who's doing his own thing, that's the guy who's confident doing his own thing, that's the guy who gets the girl. It's the same with Google. Those who land the top rankings in Google are doing something good to begin with. Their SEO efforts, if anything, are really leveraging the other things which they're doing. And that's what we'll talk about today, how you can actually get SEO benefits while getting traffic from other sources. And that's what's really, really cool and really, really interesting about this. So first of all, though, another little warning is that you probably know this, that Google traffic on its own is risky, very, very risky. If you're relying solely on Google traffic, then you're in trouble at some point. That doesn't mean don't go after Google traffic, don't get Google traffic. Google traffic is absolutely brilliant, but if it's your only source of traffic, at some point things might go wrong for you. And so it's just risky, because if Google suddenly changes its algorithm, then you could lose all your traffic. And if you're focusing on impressing Google, if that's your end game, if you're just really focused on Google, then it usually doesn't end too well, because Google is always trying to cut out those sites which are trying too hard to impress it and game the system. So what we're going to show you here is how you can actually impress Google by getting traffic from other sources, and then the whole Google thing, the whole ranking things just begins to fall into place. So this might be like a little bit different from the type of thing you've heard before, but I do approach things a little bit differently, and all I can say is this works for me. There's more than one way of doing things, but this 100% works for me. So up on screen then is what I call the Google Big Four. Most people know 1, 2, and 3, but they don't know number 4. And I'm going to show you a method in a moment that gets all 4 while giving you that 5 times backlink boost and everything else. Okay? So the big 4 then are backlinks, but not just any backlinks, the right kind. Number 2 is user engagement, which essentially, is linked really to having good content, a good site design, and things like that. And social votes and authority, so the fact that people might like your pages or your articles or your posts on Twitter, they might share them on Twitter, they might like them on Facebook, share them on Google+. This is becoming very important. And your overall social authority, so if you have a following on Twitter, Google likes it. If you have a following on Google+, Google likes it. It's going to help you rank higher. Google's actually looking at your author profile and authority as well as your actual site as well. So actually having a following on Twitter and Facebook and places like that is a good thing. We're going to discuss how you can make this happen. It's very, very interesting. It's one that most people don't realize, one which is really widely discussed. I don't tend to follow the SEO community too much, because they've got some good information. There's a few people to follow. On the whole, the biggest breakthrough is by using some common sense and test if it works. And traffic is a really, really big part of that. So just going to circle this on the screen so you know what we're focused on here, and it's traffic. Okay. Well, why? The question is, let's say you've done some things and you so these are tweets and likes and things like that. And engagement is good, but then you guys know what's going on. Manipulation, people are saying artificial, it's paid, the site is not valued, it's got poor content on the site, everything else is fake, the backlinks aren't real, you're doing SEO work. So all these great answers from people on the call, Mark, Josephine, Steve, Mike, awesome, awesome. So you guys really know what's going on here. And so this is quite interesting that you might be doing all these backlinks, you might be doing all these social votes even, and a lot of people forget to do the social vote side. But if you haven't actually got any traffic coming to your site, it's a big, big, big warning to Google that none of this other stuff is real. It's just pretend, and they won't rank you. So you actually have to have traffic to be able to rank, which is kind of like a catch-22 situation. You don't have to have traffic, but I mean, Google's going to penalize you in some way until you do. And once you do start getting traffic, when you do get traffic, when the traffic isn't at zero, let's say your traffic then, let's say your traffic's at, say, 100 visitors per month, then, that's going to bring you much, much more results from your backlinks and things like that. So I'll just draw this up on screen, kind of like what happens here. So let's say that your traffic then is actually, instead of 0, it's actually, say, 1,000 visitors per month. And Google can say, all right, I can believe that you've got these social votes, you've got some traffic coming to your site, and I can believe you've got these backlinks. Sorry about the ticks, but you get the idea. So Google gives a thumbs up then. The backlinks are right, the 50 social votes are right, because you've actually got traffic tested and proven kind of in the underground SEO community. It hasn't really made it mainstream yet. There's a couple of people talking about maybe in a month, maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, this will kind of be hitting the mainstream SEO news. I've seen things kind of stay under the carpet for like as long as actually like 5 years. So this traffic makes a big difference. And just to give you an idea as well, because the social votes thing is often considered like not as important as backlinks, but they are. So the number, this is like, there's been a few studies like this where they've looked at correlation, where they've looked at how more backlinks indicate higher rankings, and how or if like more social votes like Facebook shares and tweets and things like that are linked with higher rankings, and they are just as much as actual backlinks. So this is quite crazy and very, very interesting that social votes are just as important as backlinks. And so you can't really do one or the other in isolation. If you are, you're not going to be getting the full benefit. And this is true for your backlinks. If you think about the pages that link to you, so if I very, very quickly draw this out for you guys. So this is the problem that you likely have with some of your backlinks, if not many of them. And so if this was, say, your site down here, and if this was a site linking to you, so we'll just say a page links to you. Okay, so if that's the situation, if that's what's going on, then this link is only really worth something if this page is important. If this page is important, then this link is worth something. Right now, this page, as I've drawn it, is not important because there's no one else linking to this page. But if I start to draw some arrows over here, and these can be links, or these can be social votes. So I'll do those ones. The pink can be social votes, and the yellow can be actual backlinks. And so we've got some backlinks now, and we've got some social votes. Then all of a sudden, the actual backlink, which is pointing to your site, is all of a sudden worth a lot more. So this suddenly becomes way, way, way more important on a much bigger scale, because this page is now recognized as being important as well. So that's a simple concept. So does that make sense? Why, when the pages that link to you get backlinks and social votes, that your site ranks higher? Does this make sense? If you just want to give me a yes in the chat box, then, so Marie says you just gain clarity, Jeff says absolutely. Okay, so lots of yeses coming in, perfect. All right, good. So I'm glad you guys are with me and that makes sense, means I've managed to explain it well, right, hopefully. And this obviously means then that if you can get the pages which link to you to have more links themselves, then it's going to run down and benefit you. That's the theory behind it, and this has actually been, the idea of this has actually been around for a few years. So before I move on, there's been software maybe been out for maybe or came out maybe around 4 years ago, which did stuff like this. It was completely automated, and they just went crazy. They just thought, wow, I like this theory. This theory's got to work. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to hammer the pages that link to me with backlinks. And if I'm hammering them and something goes wrong, it doesn't matter, because these links aren't coming to me. And so this was the craze, was just to go like this, just to, as many possible links as you can down to this page that's linking to you. Now, what happens when you do that is, Google probably begins to understand that something isn't quite right here for whatever reason. And this worked for a while, and then Google was like, this page that links to you all of a sudden has 1,000 links pointing to it, something isn't right. And so it started to penalize or devalue all of this stuff which was going on. And actually some of our competitors, which were doing something like along these lines, but they were doing it in this really aggressive way, they're no longer here today because they were so aggressive. Even 3 or 4 years ago, I could see that this mass aggression wasn't something which was going to last for the long term. And actually kind of playing it a little bit gentle with a little bit of an eye on quality and value pays a lot better, both in the short term, in my opinion, and definitely 100% in the long term. So is this shedding any light then for you about why you might not be getting the traffic which you like? If you've built maybe backlinks and you forgot about the other 2 or 3 factors that we've talked about, social votes and rankings and the user engagement, that's not really probably going to be working for you. So just let me know, like, if just say me in the chat box if this has kind of shed some light on maybe why you haven't had the traffic which you've been aiming for up to now. Maybe you've kind of been spinning your wheels a bit. Just type me in the chat box if that's you. Gives me a good idea of where we're at. I guess most of you come on here because you're in that position where you want to get more traffic. I mean, everyone wants to. It's a big thing in my business. I'm always focused on getting more traffic. It's one of the best ways to grow. Traffic and conversions is the big key. Okay, awesome. So lots of people there saying it's me. And I've been there as well. It took me some time to figure this stuff out. I did it the painful way of just trial and error, trying to figure it out myself a number of years ago. There wasn't training webinars and things like that back then. And so, yeah, it's something which, you begin to figure out over the time what's the best way. And not quite being modest really is I've always been able to get traffic, typically in the millions. Once I kind of grasped it, and I grasped it quite quickly. I mean, it did take me some time of figuring it out and spinning my wheels, but once I got it, I've always been able to get traffic, and typically in the millions. And so this is actually my software business. I just looked at the stats here today, and so you saw that I've already got like I think 500,000 visitors in the last 6 months, or 600,000 plus million visitors from my blogs. I showed you that stat earlier. And the blogs which just run themselves now, I've got nothing to do with them because I'm busy with my software company. That's my passion. I really like doing it. And my software business over the last 90 days, this is the traffic it's had. So 180,000 visitors since the end of October. And obviously it's it's geared towards business people and things. So it's not as big an audience out there. So 180,000 kind of business owners and entrepreneurs and people like you, there's not as many of them going around. So this kind of traffic is, I'm happy with that. In my blogs, which were consumer orientated at consumers, where there's a lot more, general consumers, then you expect more traffic. Okay. So we talked about those 4 factors, and I'm going to show you how to get all 4 of these for the least effort. There's a Bill Gates quote which I really like. I'm just going to quickly bring it up here. It's one of my favorite quotes, and here's what it says. It says, "I will always choose a lazy person to do a difficult job because he will find an easy way to do it." I kind of picked up on this philosophy, quite early on. So even when I was in school, I used to say like minimum effort, maximum results, and that's been like an important part of like how I've approached getting traffic and things like that. I don't want to really do a huge amount of work and then not get a lot of results. And so everything I do is really geared to me having to do less. I'm very lazy. I don't like to work a lot. And if I can cut out myself from the picture, then I'm all for it. And it's one, there's the option. One option you have is getting, hiring some help like a VA or staff, which comes with its own hassles and things like that. Or the simplest and best method is to use software and automation just to have it running completely. So that's what we'll be covering now. Okay, and so just before I get into this and show you what's going on, just a word of common sense is this isn't a magic pill for traffic. You're not going to press a button and all of a sudden you've got 100,000 visitors. No such thing exists, even though some people like to tell you it does. and they like to write high sales copy and things like that. This is something quick and simple, which I recommend you do. It's not going to take you very long to set up. People who are quick at doing things online might take them an hour. Some people who are slower, might maybe like 4 or 5 or 6 hours. So it's not something that's going to take you a long amount of time. It's going to be something which increases your traffic and your rankings and builds a social following. It's just something that you can add to the mix, but it's going to take a few hours work to set that up, to go through the instructions and then to do that. Okay, so this is the kind of end result of what you will have. So just see how much we're doing for time to see how much I can go through this. Essentially, what you see here on screen with all the arrows and things pointing around looks kind of complicated. It's actually very, very simple. You have your social channels here. And so this could be, say, your Facebook or your Twitter or your Google Plus account. And what you post on this is obviously you post cool niche content. This should probably be something which you would do anyway, is posting some stuff on your social profiles. So it's a good idea to be doing that. And if you're not, then you should really be. In I'll admit, in some areas of my business, some of my sites, I haven't been on top of that as I should. Just haven't got around to implementing. But the more each day that goes by, it becomes more and more and more important. And me not doing this and you not doing it just means that you're falling behind in your business. So it's actually a priority of mine to make sure all of my sites have this stuff. Because I've got lots of different sites out there. And so the other thing that's going to go on your social profile is the sites which link to you. So you're going to do this thing which we discussed before. I go all the way back here, where you're going to get links, drive links to the pages that link to you, and you're going to do this through your social profile. So these are actually going to be social votes. So you'll be getting social votes, and those social votes get syndicated to other places, and they also, they get posted in other places. It just kind of happens when you post stuff on Twitter and Facebook. You usually end up with a backlink from other places as well. So it builds both backlinks and social votes. Really, really good, really, really awesome. And this can be valuable if you do it in the right way, because it shows your audience where the conversation about your content is happening online. Okay, so this is really, really cool. And so I was speaking to, I think last Friday or last Thursday, I had a chat with a fellow blogger, Mike, and he said that he was doing all this stuff which you see on screen. He was doing all this stuff manually. And I said, you can do this automated. This is something you can automate. You don't have to do all this stuff manually. People are doing this manually. Bloggers are doing this manually because they see it's important, because they see that it works. But why spend, 30 minutes or an hour each week doing this stuff when you can just have it automated for you? And when you're linking out and you're giving exposure to these other sites that link to you, they send you more link juice, they send you more referral traffic, they rank higher, so they get more Google traffic, which then gets clicked through to your site because there's a link to your site on the page. They're also incentivized because you've given them some exposure. They're much more likely to link to you again. And this is something that actually really does happen. I mean, I was a blogger. I know how bloggers think. Is if I link to a site and it gives me some exposure and I get a little bit of traffic from that, even if it's just a few clicks, I'm going to pay attention to do that, and I'll go and do it again. I'll give them preference when I go to link to someone because I'm actually getting a bit of a reward back. And again, the niche content is something which is helping you build subscribers on your social profile. These subscribers, again, we looked at the 4 big factors. If we go back a few pages, social votes and social authority. So building up followers on your social profiles, even if it's just a small amount, makes a difference. It makes a big difference compared to being at 0. And what's important here is you're actually doing something. You're actually creating a valuable platform which will bring in traffic, and the traffic is you can post your own content to these social channels, and the traffic is going to help you. Now, if all this kind of looks complicated or it confuses you, you can't follow it around. This is the theory behind what's going on. When it comes to setting this up, it's just like a step-by-step process of doing that, and we'll cover a little bit of that today to kind of get an idea of what's going on. Okay, so we're getting close up to the hour, and I'd like to run through a couple of things to show you. So if you're up for it, would you like to try some of this out live? Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Lots of yeses, right? And so we're not going to be able to set all this up completely live and everything within the kind of 15 to 30 minutes that we've got left. But I can show you some of the things which go on. Now, how all this works is using some technology called RSS. You don't need to know what it means or even what it stands for, but RSS is the technology which is used in this. Now, RSS to syndicate your niche content onto your social profiles, that's something you could do. You could maybe Google that. We're going to show you very quickly, like just one way of quickly doing this. And so using RSS technology, you can already, without having to pay for anything, you can do this half by yourself. Okay? But you can't do this part by yourself because you can't get an RSS feed of your backlinks. And it needs to be a special type, and it needs to be done in a certain way. And so I have a tool called Linklaw which does this. Okay? And so here I'm logged into my tool. So this tool has two purposes. So number one, this tool Linklaw, which you can see on screen, the purpose number one is that it gives you some information on who's linking to you, because that's very, very useful to know. So I'll show you an example of that now. And then the second part then is the whole syndication, the backlinks, the traffic reward channels that we've been talking about. So first of all, I'll just show you kind of what you might expect to see within an account, that's been running for a little while. So this has got like a year of data in here. And this is just some example data, because what I wanted to show you here is you can see this green line going down. This green line going down means you should be worried if this was your website. So this is just data we just put in just to give that an example. I don't have a site, I think, which is going down like this. I hope not. Anyway. And so this is what a site which would be in trouble, which is losing backlinks. And this can happen if you spammed and done too many low-quality backlinks. What happens is the sites which they're on tend to disappear over time, or the links get taken down and removed as spam. And as that happens, your actual number of backlinks will decrease. And this means that you're in trouble. So this alone, this graph can be very, very helpful just to kind of show you if you're in a healthy situation. It should be going in the other way. Okay. And so this alone is very, very, very useful to know. And then again, the other thing you can actually then do is Linklaw will actually go out and find backlinks which are linking to you. So I just did Peter's website blogging mechanics, and it's still going through, so it hasn't checked all of them. You can see some of them are unchecked, but I've actually been able to go through and look at all of Peter's backlinks. This is actually quite cool for looking at competitors. I mean, me and Peter are friends, so we're not really competitors. If I wanted to look at his site and understand why it might be ranking high, I can go and look at where he's got all these links from. So that's quite interesting, and I've, that's good to know. And then you can obviously do this for your own site as well. Now, then what happens then when you have all these links? Then all of the links which it finds which are valid, so these links which are valid here, which Linklaw finds, and you can decide what is valid, whether that includes like whether it actually shows whether it's like no follow or do follow. So you can say whether you require it to be a do follow link if that's something you want to do, if that makes sense to you. It's more of like an advanced thing. Typically, I just turn no follow off and focus on the do follow links, which are the ones which pass the most benefit to your site. And then of the links which you choose and of the links which are actually live, they're actually working, they're actually there, because not all of these links might still be up there. So it goes through and checks them, and it does that on an ongoing basis. It makes this thing then which is called an RSS feed. So this is giving you the source code here, and I think it's got about 3 entries in it already. So the entries are already starting to be leaked out via the RSS feeds. And so you're looking at this and you're like, well, what's this? It looks kind of weird. It looks like code. How's that any good to me? The only thing you need to really care about is this little bit here. Okay, you just copy this URL, and this URL does all the magic for you. It's made in a certain way. It delivers the content in a certain way, puts it in the right format so that you can build links to your backlinks. That's what this RSS feed does. And we have a specific way which we recommend you go out and do that. And in addition, it's just also very, very powerful. So if any of you consider yourself maybe like an advanced SEO, quite experienced, you can do some really cool experimentation with this and really take it far. But we show you as our recommended method of how to set up these channels, which we've talked about. And so that's all covered in the Linklaw documentation. So there's a link to the documentation here. The whole ins and outs and everything which is important, it's covered in this RSS feeds and auto backlinks to backlinks. The full report, a PDF report, is in the members area. which takes you through the steps. And it's got, if you want to get someone else to do it, you can hand it off. It's got an instruction booklet, but it doesn't take long to do. You can do it in about 1 to 2 hours, maybe a bit longer if it takes you a bit longer to do things like that. So this is really, really cool, really, really powerful. And the end result, when you syndicate this RSS feed, is you've got all of this stuff working for you, okay? When you do it and you follow the correct method. Now, we promised that we'd show you how you can do this with and give yourself this 5 times boost. And so really to give yourself this 5 times boost, you'd want to syndicate, to places like, the main ones at least, like Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, like a Facebook fan page and things like that. And all these pages take seconds to just to set yourself up if you don't have accounts there already. So Peter, I think you were going to show how you can set this up on Twitter feed, one of the free services. So what you can do to take with that feed. So are you still able to do that?
Yeah. I will take a screen, and can you copy and paste that feed that you have there?
Yeah.
So I can have it. Just copy and paste it in my chat box so I can grab it. And let me make myself presenter.
Okay, it's in there. Okay, so just while Peter gets his screen up, just to remind you what's going on here is, we've hit some random terminology like RSS feeds and shown like some cool diagrams and stuff, but really the process of this, as Peter's going to show you now, is literally it's copy and paste a link into another free tool. So you sign up for the tool, you go in, you paste in the RSS feed, just like you would paste in like a link or something into a form, and you're good to go. Okay, so Peter says that his GoToWebinar crashed, so he'll be back in a moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just while Peter gets back.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back already, Peter?
Yeah, just give me a moment. I will take a screen. Every time it changes the screen, it just crashes. So I will make myself presenter now. Yeah. And now you should be able to see my screen, right? Yes. So now, can you give me this this feed link, Chris?
Yeah, let me just do that again. I did send it already. Let's see. Okay, so
yeah, I have it now. Okay, let me just copy and paste it. So basically, what you can do, one of the simplest syndications that you can do, and you have to understand that what LinkClaw does, right? It basically creates this output, and as Chris was mentioning, you don't need to do anything afterwards. So you set it up. It's not like, okay, now I'm creating a couple of backlinks, and then I go through the whole process to just get it working. No, you don't need to do that. You just grab the feed, and you can set up those channels to just boost the thing. And I will show you in a moment a proof of this, how it works on various websites. It's just unbelievable, right? So what you can do, you can set up a Twitter feed. And basically, Twitter feed will allow you to just syndicate this RSS feed, so you can give it a name, whatever you want. So let's say LinkClaw, right? You can test it. It should be working. As you can see, everything is working. And now you can schedule the whole frequency, and you can even, as you can see, you can even link with Bitly and stuff like that. So you can set up titles only, or description only, or titles and description. You can schedule how often you want to do. You can do Facebook as well, LinkedIn as well. So you can set this up with different variations, and nobody have said how many Twitter accounts you can have. You can, for example, can set up this feed and right away basically set it up for multiple, the same feed for multiple accounts and in different times, right? And so whenever the feed from LinkClaw will notify about new backlinks, so what it does, it creates a content in the right format and leverages the backlink content, right? You can get it spread out to like 10 or 20 Twitter accounts right away, right? And if you use things like, for example, hashtags and stuff like that, you can add all of those here, right? And it totally creates the buzz, the social buzz effect that is so awesomely working, and that has been working for me all the time. Like as Chris was mentioning, I think we were one of the few people that actually did this back when everybody was just spamming the web, because I was like, for my mind, it wasn't logical to just go out and build hundreds of thousands of backlinks. What's the purpose? Because they all the time is dropping out of the index and they don't give the leverage that I need. So by setting these things up, you can basically automate the process. Even more, since you are my customer, you probably have WP RSS Magnet, right? In WP RSS Magnet, Link Claw does it automatically. You just provide the details from the campaign right here, right? You provide a couple of details, and boom, it's going to do it automatically. Every time you do something, it will automatically add the links right here, right? Or you can even take links afterwards. You can go here to automation. Let me just show you this. You go here to automation, and basically you can just create a new automation right away. You can just click new automation, you copy and paste the link, you validate the RSS feed. As you can see, it's valid. You pick account where you want to drop it, and you create an automation. Right? So this is just automation that nobody does, because most people just like to stick with 2010 methods instead of just focusing on what really can be done with a couple of simple softwares, right? And Twitter is just one of the tools. There are many, many tools that allows you to enter the RSS feed and just leverage the backlink. Let me show you something very interesting, right? So we mentioned blogging mechanics, and Chris was already running my profile, right? So I was running my profile as well here on Ahrefs. All right, I cannot pronounce this properly. So what I want to show you is that, as you can see, I really don't have links here, right? I really don't have links for this site, and obviously I haven't done much with this site for a long, long time. But what I want to point out, that you want to get links like these. You see this link? This link is coming from whatever site. But what you see here is that this link is supported by social, what I call social proof, you know, something where people say, okay, this is a good, solid place where people trust, you know? And see, links like this. And when you create links like these more, right, then you get the leverage that you need for the same backlink, right? For the same backlink. Now, if you look at these numbers, these Twitter numbers, those are unique times this URL has been shared. So with using Twitter feed, you can literally set up 20, 30, as I said, based on your website. You can set up as many accounts as you want. You can feed in different kind of content to those Twitter accounts and pretty much create this social proof for that backlink, so that it doesn't look like a lonely site where there's no people visiting, and that creates a backlink back to your site. Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense, if all of what I'm saying now makes sense to you, and why I was so excited about this 5x method, because it's just literally you are taking control of how you empower your links. You can take control. Instead of just focusing on, okay, how many backlinks I can create, no, you focus on totally different aspect. You focus on, okay, let me create a couple of quality links, let me set it up with Link Claw, let me set it up with Twitter feed, and let me make sure that there are tweets, there are likes, there are Facebook shares, all of this in one place, right? So that's how it works, and yeah, it's just incredible. I think I can give you back, Chris, the presentation mode. Are you there? Let me know. I see you are muted.
I'm here. I just unmuted my microphone.
Yeah. All right.
I muted my microphone while you were talking.
Awesome. Let me give you the presenter back, right? So ready to take the screen?
Sure. And I see, a couple of people have said, this is a little bit confusing. I don't quite get it. It doesn't really matter if you understand the technology behind it. All that matters is that you just implement it. It doesn't matter if you understand it. If you can, like I said at the start, if you can fill in a form, you like signing up to a website, then you can do this because it's really that simple. I mean, all you do is sign up to, a site like Twitter, and you copy you know, I'm sure everyone knows how to copy and paste. If you don't, then you're probably in the wrong business. You know, so you copy the link, and you go take it and put it in, say, Twitter feed, and then, you know, you hit submit, and it's done. You know, you take a couple of options, hit submit, it's done, it's working. You don't have to think about it ever again. It's done, it's dusted, that's it. What Peter just showed you took him like 2 minutes, and he was, you know, explaining it as he went through. And, you know, you might do this for like a few different sites. So it's really not going to take you a very, very long time at all. And within the Linklaw members area, you go to documentation, you go down here for the RSS feeds, and it's got, you click for the PDF, and it's got the full PDF, and it goes through everything that you need to know, go through the whole thing. Okay, so really, really powerful, and it's just all laid out for you exactly what to do, covering this entire diagram which we talked about. And it, you know, if you don't want to know the interesting stuff behind it, the SEO stuff which me and Peter are into, if you just want the results, then there's a section within there which says this is the steps you do, you know, just this is what you do, step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's also got in there if you want to learn, you know, a little bit about what's going on and like the reason why it works and things like that. Okay, so so here's what you get then inside of Linklaw. So you're going to get instant access to the Linklaw platform, so you can set up your first free traffic and link boosting campaign, immediate download of that traffic reward channels training, which I just showed you where to get that in the members area, and then also the advanced live training session. Okay, it's previously unannounced, but we're doing a live training session next Thursday, I think, and going through in more detail, answering questions and things like that. You've got the full documentation on how to use Linklaw for the link intelligence and things like that, and then lifetime support from our team. So this is like a new product which, you know, disappears. It's already been around for 2 years. Our competitors have been and gone because they didn't really think about the future, and we're still here. Okay. Okay, so the link then, Peter, if you want to drop that in the chat box here, you've already done that. So the link then is in the chat box if you want to go through and grab that. And Peter, I don't know if you had a couple of things which you wanted to add, and the link is up here on screen as well with a big arrow.
Yeah, just a second. I will try to take back the screen, but I will try to take it back so it doesn't crash, you know?
Okay. All right, and there's just been quite a few questions in the chat box as well. So Karen says the link doesn't show on the iPad. The link is up on screen. So it's, I'll read it out. It's yesiamin.com/5x. So yesiamin.com/5x. So if you head on over there, then you can get the, because this is version 2, this is like the new latest version of Linklaw. You can get the latest version, and it's 50% off or double in price in a few days once the launch, like our relaunch week is over for our new version. So I see there's lots of questions in the chat box. So I'll be answering those in the background just while Peter goes through a couple of things I think he wants to talk about.
Yeah, so first what I want to say is that, as I mentioned before, is that Linklaw is fully integrated with our software, right? So if you are using WP RSS Magnet in your business, and you should be using, because it's just, there's no other tool that actually does this, right? Then, as you know, there is Linklaw integrated. So you don't need to even worry about manually pasting your backlinking URLs in Linklaw. They will be automatically added there. And even more, as I showed before, WP RSS Magnet is going to distribute them for you. Now, another tool that we have is obviously Evergreen Backlinks. And again, we have Linklaw integrated there as well, so you can provide the details here, and it's going to work for you. So you have these two powerful tools that you probably already have. So for those, Linklaw is going to only help you, right? Now, I really stand behind Linklaw. I use it myself in my business. It's just absolutely incredible. So I would suggest that I want to give you a bonus, right? And I want to give you an extremely valuable bonus, but not some stuff, but something that is really to help you if you are really building a traffic and you want to get results, right? So one of the integrations that we have here in Evergreen Backlinks and also in WP RSS Magnet is this PG Indexer and Linklicious service, right? So what we have here. So if you want to run, like Linklicious and PG Indexer is absolutely the same service, right? So if you if you run, if you want to run Linklicious on a pro level, right, and it's called now linklicious.com, if you want to run it on full level, you have to pay $57 per month, right? That's when you get all the access and all the benefits. Now, if you use PG Indexer, then you don't have to pay so much in order to use it, but you get the same pro benefits. Now, the standard pricing that we offer for you in order to get those benefits is right here. So you pay either $14.50 per month, which gives you $42.50 discount per month for the pro level, or there are some other levels as well, right? So basically, if you use this service through us, you pay $14,050 monthly, right? So right now, if you will invest in Linklaw, I will give you 12 months pro access for free for this. So you can use it for WP-RSS Magnet or Evergreen Backlink. So for all of these tools, you will be able to enter here the licenses and just get it working for 12 months for absolutely free. Now, what Linklicious does, it helps you to index all the backlinks, right? It helps you to index all the backlinks and boost all the backlinks, right? On top of what Linklaw will do for you. So this is an incredible combination where you can combine both tools, so PG Indexer and Linklaw, in our software that you already have, and then just get the maximum leverage, right? And if you look at the value, so $14.50 per month would be $174 per year real value that you would need to pay to get this benefit that now you will be able to get for free, regardless of which level you take for the Linklaw, right? And if you go to the page, so if you go to yesimin.com/5x, if you go to that link, and the link is in the chat box, you will see that the price is ridiculous. It's I believe it's one-time payment, right? Right, Chris? I think it's one-time payment. So let me actually check. Let me actually check it here. So as you can see,
it's definitely a one-time payment.
Yeah, so there are 3 different packages that you can see on the page, and you can select whichever package you want, right? So if you have a single domain, you have 25 domains, or if you have 100 domains, this is a one-time payment. You get up to 100 domains. You can monitor up to 100,000 backlinks, which is crazy. You can get RSS feed for up to 100,000 backlinks, and obviously all the advanced training and everything else. Plus, you can use it together with the software that we have and we provide. And as I said, if you don't have WP-RSS Magnet,
and even
I don't know why you are
just for getting the information on your backlink, so just being able to go in there and hit a button and see who's linking to you, I mean, that's information which is generally quite hard to get. And if you sign up to some of these services like this one.
Let me show you. Let me show you this. This would cost you. My account costs me $179 per month, right?
And so,
in order to run it. So you get that for this ridiculous payment. So for $47, you get that for life for free. I mean, compare this where it was $79. It's a minimum. So let's say even $79. If you take the minimum, it gives you just 5,000 backlinks, right? Which is right. So I really, really strongly encourage you to get a Linklaw. You will get a PG Indexer from me, which you can use with WP-RSS Magnet or Evergreen Backlinks. It's just incredible combination. You have really 5x leverage for your backlinks from that moment forward. So I really I cannot recommend it enough, So yeah, let me just give you the screen so you can put maybe the link on the screen, so I can just we can answer questions then. So let me make you presenter. Done. You should be you should have the screen, Chris.
Yeah, I have it. Okay, so I've gone through and I've answered like as many questions in the chat box as I could. There's kind of more coming in than I can keep up with, so sorry if I haven't replied to you. I'm trying to get through those. Okay, so while I was actually going through those questions, Peter, I actually missed what your bonus was. So I caught a glimpse of it on screen while I was answering a couple of people in the chat box. But could you tell me what it was? It looked pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
so anyone who will buy, regardless which package you are purchasing today, for link law, you are going to get PG Indexer service for 1 year for free. And this is $174 value that you get absolutely for free. So regarding recordings, we record this. We try to record this. We hope that it will be recorded. So let's see.
And so Daryl asks a good question and says, is this for managing backlinks or getting backlinks? So I'll just show you again up on screen. I know some people may have come in late and possibly missed it, so I'll run through it real quick. Is Linklaw both provides stats and information and verifies and finds what sites are linking to you, so like all this data which you just see up on screen here. So you get cool graphs like this to tell you like how many valid links you've got pointing to your site. And so that's one half of the software, which is cool in and of itself. Peter just showed you a competing service which does something similar to this. In fairness, they do go a lot deeper and a lot more, probably more information than the average person needs. But they cost like it was $79 per month for like one of the smallest packages, which doesn't even cover as many links as we do. And this is a one-off cost. So just this part, this aspect of it, is huge value. And then we take it a step further by creating this RSS feed, which you simply copy and paste into a couple of free services, and then you can post backlinks to your backlinks on social media sites. So that's kind of summing up what it does in like in a couple of paragraphs. Okay, so let's see what other questions we've got coming through. Thanks, Josephine, for the nice comment. Malcolm says, how long will this promotion run? So for myself, our launch offer, it's half price right now, so approximately half price. And that will run until Tuesday on midnight. But for Peter's bonus, I'm not too sure how long he has that running for. Probably.
I will close the same. We will close at the same time. So we will close when you close the launch offer. We close the bonus as well.
Okay. Scott says, does it do anchor text diversity? There is we have an advanced version which does, but you don't actually need it because when you're syndicating content, it's not expected that you do this diversity through it or that you spin it. Because I'll show you something interesting. I'll show you this. This is actually very cool. Just to prove to you that you don't need to do any spinning when you syndicate via RSS. So I'm just going to go to Google. Okay, so this is going off on a little bit of a tangent here. But just to show you that you don't need to kind of do any type of spin, and let me see what we've got here. So I'm going to take a random article from Engadget. Let me see if I can just pick one from the front page. I'm going to try and pick one that's been posted a little bit earlier today. So this one was posted 6 hours ago. And so let's just say this was a website, let's say you were lucky enough to get covered on Engadget, which is one of the most biggest tech blogs out there. So let's say this page linked to you, and you were going to post it through some social profiles. And I've just taken the title of that article and done a search for it. This article was only published 6 hours ago, and there are already 2,620 results for people who have posted the title of this article exactly as it is. If you know Engadget, you'll know it's a massive site. It gets a huge amount of traffic. Google absolutely loves it, and this just goes to show you don't need to spin any of this stuff because this is normally what happens when content gets shared around the web. The original title of the page is used as normal, so Google expects to see it because it's a normal thing to do. Okay, so this is just to show that you don't need to worry about spinning any of the content or things like that as you syndicate it across. So that's just to let you know that you don't necessarily need to do that. Some advanced people, might want to do that, but it's definitely not needed. The natural way is actually to not spin it, and Google's probably going to be potentially happier with it being in that way. So I think Peter's in there answering a lot of the questions as well. But Peter, if you've seen any common questions come through, just let me know.
All right, I'm checking now. I try to answer already here in the chat box.
Yes, I see them coming up and I see them disappearing because you're answering them. What I would like to say though is it's been really fun being with you on this webinar, because you've got such a cool audience. You've trained them so well. They picked up things from you, and obviously doing things themselves. Just a really awesome audience. I do a lot of presentations and do it for different people. Some people you see, and the people on their calls kind of don't really understand what's going on, but people here like a really good understanding. Some people might still be new to it and picking it up, but I really like the questions and just the interaction here. You got a really nice crowd.
Thank you, thank you. And now, as we talked today in the previous webinar I did today for members of one of my programs, we have intelligent people here, and those people also get results. Those people also understand the importance of technology to speed up the processes and to make sure that everything is done to the maximum leverage. And that's what link law is all about. So I highly recommend you pick it up, because I mean, it's just incredible. Now, we don't actually we kind of look here, and because of my crashing of the webinar, it seems that there will not be recordings. Chris, you're not recording on your end, right?
I hit the button a little bit late, but I did the internal go-to recording, so you know how.
All right, so maybe we will be able to mix something up, because we have like half of the webinar, and we just look now and see that half is not. So we'll try to answer maybe for 10 minutes more to answer just more questions. So John is asking, can you please repeat bonus? Wasn't on it for that. So the bonus is PG Indexer service that you can use inside of WP-RSS Magnet and Evergreen Backlinks. Those are two of my softwares. So if you are a customer of mine for some time, you probably have those already. And they work perfectly together with LinkLaw. They are integrated, which is not that, it's not like you have to kind of, manually add something. It just automatically works together.
Okay, so Dawn says, is everything explained in baby steps? And yes, it is. So when you go into LinkLaw, you've got the documentation area here at the top. And then in terms of setting up the RSS feeds, that's where people think that it's going to be like actually quite difficult, but we've got the whole thing in like step-by-steps. So, we've got this kind of report which goes through like a lot of the theory, so explained everything we talked about today. But then like we've also got the complete, also like quick guide where it's just the steps laid out. It's got links to the videos and things like that.
Yeah, so Scott is asking, is this monthly? And I want to stress out that this is a one-time payment. And as we compared, you can go to hrefs.com, Chris, and you can just compare a service that does some part of what LinkLaw will do. So if you go to plans and pricing, yeah, there, then you can see that pretty much you will get the intelligence that on this side it will cost you $79 per month, right? So this is just incredible. So make sure you jump on board. It's just
so essentially, like if you just wanted to find out your backlinks, then if you are using this service, and I like this company, they're a good company, they've got some really good info. There's really like there's 3 companies which do this, and they all charge around the same price. And here just for 5,000 links is $79, whereas if I go to the link which Peter has given you, if we compare the prices here, in the highest package it's $47. That's a one-off cost, so $47.
One time, yeah.
And one time, and that's for 100,000 backlinks. Whereas here, if you want like how many 30,000 backlinks, you have to pay. Is it $500? Is that per month or per year? I think that's per month. Is it?
Yeah, and regarding the bonus delivery will happen automatically. So after the launch is over, so after next week, Chris is going to give me the list of customers, and we are going to run the license for you, and you are going to get it either in RSS Magnet or in Evergreen Backlinks members area. If you have a subscription right now for PG Indexer. You can go to PayPal and cancel it if you purchased Linklaw right now. You can just go and cancel it. No need to pay because you will get this as a bonus.
Okay, and so just to show that pricing again, so what the information you can get on your links. Now, I'll admit we don't go as deep in terms of like the information and things that you can get from this company, but just to jump in and to be able to grab a list of links that to be able to just to go in and discover a bunch of links like these and then go through and check them. So we do that for up to 100,000 links on the $47 one-time fee. So that's $47 for life, just for 1 year for just 30,000 links. So that's 70,000 links less than this company is charging close to $5,000. So it is like a $4,500 and like $4,950 saving compared to this company. These guys do more. They're a good company, but it's probably more than what you really need. The most important information that's good to know is who is linking to you. And so we've got that data, and it's a one-time fee. And so it's a really, really incredible deal. Matt says, so you need links first before you can use Linklaw. Yeah, really, like Linklaw is designed to both find who's linking to you, give you some information on that, verify that they are actually linking to you, and then syndicate those people who link to you down through various social channels. So if you have no links, then Linklaw really has nothing to do until you do get some links. But if you really want traffic, then really you're going to be getting links, and so it's just a normal thing you'll be doing within your business.
So Teresa is calm. She's confused about what's going on here. So if you purchase Linklaw, you get PG Indexer, which is a license key that you can use with WP RSS Magnet or Evergreen Backlinks. That you get as a bonus. So that's what you get. You get it for 1 year, unlimited backlinks. You can just whatever sites you have, you will have it, right? Yes, Dennis, the Linklaw is inside of WP RSS Magnet dashboard. You can integrate with that, right? There is an answer from Chris. It's integration, right? So you have to log in once to Linklaw to grab a couple of details from it. But apart from that, everything will be automated.
Okay, so Philip says if he buys package number 2, can he upgrade at a later time for the same prices? Yeah, so the prices which you see on screen here, if you buy, like say you go in at like the single package at 27 and you wanted to upgrade later, you won't be charged the higher price once our special offer is over, which ends on midnight Pacific time on Tuesday.
So there is a question from James. After a backlink is fed into the Linklaw RSS, will it show up in the feed again?
No.
So, yeah.
It will show there once, but if you wanted to run it where you had kind of like you ran the whole thing again, you just create a brand new campaign and restart it, and you just get another RSS feed. And so, like,
yeah,
if you wanted to, and if you want to, there's a very, very easy way to duplicate the whole thing and run lots through it. It's not like the way we recommend to do it because it's a bit too much. It's much better to have like one channel which you've built up some authority for, which has some valuable content on it, and we show you how to do that automatically. And it's much better to focus on that one, let that one build up, and that's going to be much more powerful than say having like 50 which really don't have any authority.
Victor, no, the Linklaw doesn't provide backlinks if you don't have a backlinks. It will help you to get more backlinks if you have backlinks. I hope it makes sense.
And it will make those links work for you more effectively. Okay, there's just like a few more questions just coming through. I think Peter's getting through most of them. He's getting through them pretty quickly. You type fast, Peter. I can't read them.
I was doing another webinar today, so I used to, So Dennis is asking, so is there an annual unkeep cost with Linklaw? No, there is no. I don't know. There's no. Right, Chris?
Yeah, exactly. It's a one-time fee, it's a one-time cost.
Malcolm is asking, what do you recommend to get more backlinks initially? Just use WP-RSS Magnet with my training and you are set to have it. Very simple answer, Malcolm. Gail is in as well. Awesome, great. We have a lot of people. John was previously in. I know Rob already has this, I think. Therese, she's kind of complaining about something, but Therese, it's all about where you are in your business. It's not about for us just thinking about let's make some money. It's about serving your results. It's just I mean, if you are building backlinks, there is no better leverage than this. I mean, that's just as simple as that, right? John is asking, what is the big difference between this version and the original link law? I think you improved it a lot, right, Chris?
Well, like fundamentally, it hasn't really changed all that much, and the reason is like without trying to sound like too much like I'm showing off or that I really know my stuff or something like that. Like I know SEO pretty well. I don't get into it like completely like inside out crazy, but because I've done it for so many years, you kind of pick up on where trends are going, and it's often really a lot simpler than a lot of people try and make it. And so, kind of just seeing where things were going, I've always kind of like had a good understanding of where Google's kind of heading in the next 2 to 3 years. And so I usually plan my marketing to be kind of what I would be doing in 4 years from now rather than what works today. And that's always worked for me, and it seems to make Google happier now as well as in the future. And so that's really what I focused on. And like I showed like at the beginning of the webinar, um, for those of you who missed it, just like traffic to my blogs, which like I stopped doing them now because my software business took off and it kept me pretty busy, that I just didn't have time to keep doing the blog stuff I was going, and it was running itself anyway. So I just said, okay, let's just leave it, and I made a promise just to completely forget about it and not be distracted, because in my theory in businesses, it's always best to focus on one thing and do it really, really well. And so we focus on building marketing software and software for businesses, and we do these small little products like you've seen Linklaw, and we're the best at what we do. That's what we aim to do, something small, specific, and we get really, really good at it. And so in doing that, I didn't have time to keep these blogs running. I mean, we might run some experiments on them or something when we want to figure something out, but literally I have not touched these sites that you see the stats on there for in over like a year and a half, apart from one site which like really isn't included in these four, because I've got some other ones which like I was about to start but didn't really get going, and all I did with that one is delete some comments because it got loads of spam. So and the reason why I get this traffic and I'm doing nothing is because I did it the right way to begin with. I wasn't looking at like short-term like aims and things like that. I put up decent content, and I built it in the right way. So even though I'm not touching these sites or doing anything with these sites, they're still getting traffic. And I really could not care about these sites because I've now got another business which I'm focused on. Just really the stats are there just to show you what can happen when you do things in the right way. It took me some time to put all that in place and to grow it to be to get that much traffic. But it just keeps coming in year after year. And then in my software business as well, we pull in a lot of traffic on that as well too.
Yeah, so I highly recommend you join. So you go to yesimin.com/5x, and I will add the link one more time in the chat box. If you have some questions, you can email to my support, and I will give you links in the chat box as well. So we will try to get the recordings kind of this training, but as I said, we have about half of the webinar, so I hope Chris will have another half, and then we will be able to combine somehow.
Yeah, sure. I think I got it pretty early on, so we should be okay.
Yeah, we have the first part until the crushing. We have absolutely good, but the moment when we switch the screens, that's when it's totally stopped, right?
Yeah.
So I think we will figure out how to combine them, and yeah. The highest recommendation to just get Linklaw, start to use it. It's a one-time payment for something that you would otherwise pay 79, 179, or even more monthly. You get it for one time, right? And now, before you actually, let's just make sure that before you run off, I want to just quickly run a quick poll. So let me know here if you enjoyed this training, you learned something valuable for your business. Just type in yes or no, just straightforward answer. We have some answers coming in, so let's just try to get to at least 50% of this call. We have a lot of people here. Just type in whether you enjoy it, not, learn something more valuable, is going to help you, and so on and so forth. Because you can apply this method manually as well, right? If you decide, you know, for whatever reason, and I don't know, for whatever crazy reason you don't join LinkLaw, then you can definitely implement the same strategy manually. And I showed you how you can, you know, you just need to obviously combine the backlinks every time, then manually create an RSS feed, then manually go to distribute. And there are a lot of processes that would take up the couple of hours every time you need to do that in order to make it happen. What LinkLaw, it just does it automatically, right, with the push of the button. So we have about close to 50%.
Just to remind people as well, John, I didn't quite finish his question on the difference between, like, because LinkLaw came out like a couple of years ago, and while a lot of our competitors have kind of disappeared because, you know, they work for a little bit and no longer work, we're still here. You know, we're having like a really nice successful relaunch as well at the same time. And we've added new features, like instance at that time. We've like improved like the speed of things which we do in the background, and there's been like about five new features which we've added in. They're kind of like small things which just make things a little bit easier and give a little bit more flexibility. And then we've got around like 5 more coming very, very soon, which I really want to have in, and I've written them out, and the developer's working on them, because I'm going to be using them on some of the campaigns within my software business. And so there's just a few little new things which I want to add in, which are coming in over the next kind of 4 to 8 weeks, which are going to be really, really cool too. So look out for those. So yeah, the upgrades in terms of like new features and things which we add, so you get, you know, the updates for life. So, you know, the people who bought 2 years ago are getting the same thing that you're getting today. It's just that probably, you know, like in a year's time will be more expensive as we become more popular. So this week during like our relaunch, it's half price, plus there's Peter's bonuses as well.
Yeah. So this is for me. If you do SEO, you drive backlinks, then there's no question. You just need LinkLaw to use it in your system, because why would you want to do the hard way if you can do the easy way, right? And I'm all about automation and leveraging the time. Because just like everybody else, I have 24 hours, Chris has 24 hours, you have 24 hours, so it's absolutely the same for everyone. The difference is what we do with those hours. And the last thing that I would want to do is just copying and pasting some backlinks all day long in order to just get a simple leverage, right? So that's not what your time could be valuable spent on, right? So therefore, yeah, just let me know on the screen if you enjoyed this training before we finish. We will try to get the replay out if it will be possible. This offer will expire next Tuesday, I believe, at the evening or something like that. There will be a timer on the page, so you will see when we release the replay. So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something valuable. And just I will share the results just so it's honest. So as you can see, 96% of people on this call loved it and learned something new. 4% didn't. So that's absolutely fine. Not everybody is on the same level. With 96% implementing this in their SEO business, I think we are, Chris, happy, and we think that the webinar is good. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for being here. So go to yesmin.com/5x. Join right away. Thank you, Chris, for being here and presenting this. I think we have an incredibly solid method that people can now implement in their business as well and do exactly what we have been using and doing for a long time now. So thank you, everyone. This is Peter Garrity. Thank you, Chris. Bye for now.
Thanks, Peter, and thanks everyone on the call. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you.